This was a writing that I did intentionally because I was asked by my youth pastor to write about how to keep individual freedoms in America. And I wrote this in early 1964 when I was 17 in order to participate in this Christian All-American Girl contest. And I started out by saying, your hands are now holding this paper and you are beginning to read it without any concern of having the paper seized or of having any harm come to you. Yet, some individuals in our world aren't even able to read a manuscript at their own discretion. They do not know what it is to be able to do what they want when they want to do it. Such is true in communist countries where the government officials instruct the populace in their every move and the people obey for fear of punishment or death. These people are destitute. Most have little hope of ever being unrestricted and independent of the government's harsh demands. They have never known free enterprise, freedom of speech, freedom of the press, freedom of contract, the right to choose for whom to vote, and many other freedoms that are the backbone of the American culture. As American citizens, we should concern ourselves with our capacity for maintaining our precious individual freedoms. We know that our ancestors established residence on this land in order that they and others to come might have the freedom of worship that they so desired. That freedom has prevailed in our land since their beginning efforts. We must bear in mind this truth when giving thought to how we can keep individual freedoms in America. Number one, what are the necessary elements in our role as Christians who are concerned with possible loss of freedom? What can we Christians do to keep our freedoms? First, we must be tolerant of others. It is important that we accept the freedoms of others so that they will be tolerant of us. This is not to say that we always have to give in. There is no room for dispute of the scriptures. They speak clearly for themselves. But we must be tolerant of those individual differences that are such a real part of human nature. Cooperation is one of the keys to success in any field. By working together, we can help each other attain goals. Secondly, we must think positively. A person's state of mind can be a good asset. Observing in an objective manner and being able to weigh things in their true form is important. A person who knows himself can see and observe truths clearly. We must know our own thoughts so that we can guide ourselves in the right direction. We must exercise the freedoms that we feel are necessary for a full and rich life. We must all be doers and participate in acts that will develop fuller and deeper meaning in freedom to ourselves and others. We must take an active part in church activities and encourage our friends and relatives to do the same. Lastly, the most important of all, we must live an unapproachable Christian life. We are told through the Bible that we will know the truth, and the truth will set us free. This is in the NIV version of the Bible, John chapter 8, verse 32. Therefore, it is imperative that we study the Bible to attain a thorough knowledge of God's teachings. By this study, we can educate ourselves in the spiritual factors guiding our lives. We can also be drawn still closer to Christ. We should be able to associate ourselves with Christ and in his purpose for dying on the cross. Jesus relinquished his life so that we could be set free from sin and abide with him forever in heaven. In John 8:36, he states, "If the Son therefore shall make you free, you shall be free indeed." Christians need to keep this verse in mind always and tell it to others. If all people knew the meaning of that verse and pondered it in their hearts, they would realize its miraculous message. A faith in God and his promise gives strength to us in our struggles to maintain our freedoms. The Lord is the only true ruling force. He and he alone can give assurance of maintaining freedom. Through prayer, we can receive renewed desire and strength. We can be reassured in ourselves and our cause, we can feel that God is with us, not as someone to lean on, but as a full-fledged partner in keeping individual freedoms in America. We as Christians are being challenged today and every other day. This thesis was not meant to be a solution for us. It represents a way of life that every American should assume so that we might keep individual freedoms in America. And that's the end. And I'm sure that's not why they selected me, but there were other things to do. There was a program of providing a skit. I did a skit that was written by my lead pastor.
Say thank you. Say thank you.
Thank you.